diversified and resilient supply chain in these critical areas of technology which the world needs.
And that's actually a great segue to shift to Ambassador Gore, who just arrived in India with a bang. Ambassador Gore, could you help us understand your vision for the opportunities that you see to deepen US India technology collaboration?
Thank you, Jacob. Look, limitless potential. Those are the two words, and I truly mean it. As I've started traveling around this country, and I've been to multiple states already, what I have seen here, it's such a natural partnership. And what the United States has with the best technology, and with the innovation that we see here across India, this is a natural partnership. The president and the prime minister have a special relationship, and I mean that, and that goes a long way. You have great elements here in the sense of the technology, in the sense of the innovation, and in the want. They India wants to get involved, but also the magic touch is that special relationship between our two leaders. It's a friendship that goes back many years, and for those colleagues of mine from Washington, they understand the difference that it makes when our president likes you or he doesn't like you. And with India, our president really, really, really likes the prime minister. And so that makes a huge difference for the next 3 years. Not only the administration, but the White House itself is open to engaging India. And one of those areas where we can further this to a record is this AI. It's the technology sector. And so that's something that I'll be focused on over the next 3 years.
Thank you. Sanjay, could you help us understand a little bit what does the partnership between America and India mean for the security of the supply chains of a company like Micron, which obviously operates on a global scale?
First of all, Jacob, let me just say congratulations on this India and US Pax Silica signing today. This is certainly a tremendous initiative and wonderful to see the collaboration between the two great countries on the technology front, semiconductors, and of course, resilient, secure supply chains. Micron, as I was mentioning earlier, a global memory and storage leader, and of course, Micron is headquartered out of US, an American company, and innovation powerhouse, 60,000 plus patents. We are here in India. We have R&D facilities here in India, absolutely contributing to leading edge memory design. Ashwini, Secretary Vaishnav earlier talked about 2 nanometer designs in memory. The most advanced designs in the world are also taking place here in India, very much in collaboration with our teams in the US. So it's an example, good example of how we are advancing AI forward. Memory is a critical enabler of AI. Just think of it this way, that if um, you know AI is the growth engine of the digital economy, then memory is the fuel. And that fuel is being, really developed, is manufactured between collaboration between US and India here with R&D teams here, but also manufacturing. And that's an important piece with Micron performing assembly and test operations here in the Sanand, Gujarat facility with investments, with the support from the Indian government, with 2.75 billion of investments, with time that will result in hundreds of millions of chips assembled and tested here. And that complements Micron's manufacturing plans in the US. Actually, as you look at our manufacturing plants in the US on the silicon side, as well as advanced packaging side, the work we'll do here will complement that. It will add to it. It will contribute to it in terms of AI in manufacturing, in terms of automation in manufacturing, refining, and making workflows related to manufacturing more efficient. This will be a win-win partnership with Micron's investments in the US, getting the support of my and all the learnings of large-scale manufacturing of assembly and test operations here in India as well. So we are really looking forward to it. And its initiatives like Pax Silica absolutely ensure that there is successful supply chain resiliency and security built in to continue to build the AI infrastructure and advance AI for good for all humanity.
Thank you. And Dr. Thakur, could you help us understand a little bit better the special connection between heavy data center investments and edge technology like smartphones and connected vehicles, especially in emerging markets?
Well, thank you very much. And I first want to really congratulate on Pax Silica at a personal level. It's very exciting. We are doing this between our two countries. Truth be told, for my PhD, I went to Oklahoma, of all places, so I'm a Sooner. And pretty soon I realized that football, I don't have chance, so do silicon, so I worked on silicon. so, um, but the key is that first transistor built was really built on germanium produced near Oklahoma, germanium transistor, until we switched to silicon, and thank God we did. And Shockley made the first transistor in Bell Labs, and the rest is history. So our industry has always been dependent on this material engineering ability to work these minerals, deploy them into making the chips. And as far as the question about data center, I think the enablement of the data centers or AI is hardware driven, because AI was known long time, but the hardware was not ready. Our ability to compute was just not there. And as you have said Undersecretary Halberg, that the 20th century ran on oil and steel. The 21st century runs on compute and the minerals that feed it. That is so true. So Pax Silica is just such a timely change. For us in India, the innovation and the drive we have is tremendous. 1.5 million engineers are produced every year. 20% of the global semiconductor industry design is done, the chip design is done by Indian engineers here in India. And we never really had any coercive issues in the design space. So I think this is a very, very natural fit. In terms of the progress we are making, I think 3 years ago, there was no investment in India on the semiconductor side. Today, we have more than 25 billion being invested in 10 different factories, including Micron and Tata Electronics. We are working on the first AI-enabled fab that will be producing the AI-specific chips in India. We are using the indigenously developed packaging technologies in Northeast Assam, where we'll be packaging all of the automotive and other chips those are at the edge being done for the US companies. Partnership-wise with the US, because semiconductors brings us together, we are working with companies like Analog Devices, Qualcomm, Synopsys, and Intel, where we have memorandum of understanding to work together to deploy the ecosystem. Sometimes we are the customers, sometimes they are the customers. So at a holistic level, that engagement moving extremely well. On mobile phone, we are producing now, I think this year, India produced mobile phones worth 70 billion in the last year, 30 billion of which were exported out. So there is just tremendous push all around in terms of manufacturing. And this initiative today, I really believe it's going to bring and accelerate the momentum that we already have.
Thank you. I want to end by zooming out and asking a question for all of our panelists that's a little bit more macro. And as we gather here in India in front of world leaders and business executives, and as the global economy undergoes this incredible change driven by the reorganization of our supply chains and the AI revolution, what is your message to this audience? And maybe we can start with Secretary Krishnan and work our way down.
The message to this audience is that we need to align and ally on lines which really work for people who share values, for countries that share values, and to ensure that we do not become enslaved or do not become tied down to just one dependence. I think that is the critical thing. That is what we learned through the pandemic and through all the geopolitical upheavals. And therefore, we need to have trusted partners with whom we can work and trusted value chains so that technology can work for all of us. In organizing this India AI Summit, I think what we have truly managed to do is to democratize an important element of technology. The people have been let into the room, and that needs to continue through valuable partnerships.
Thank you. Ambassador Gore, you talked about limitless potential earlier. Can you give us a little bit of a color on what your main top level message is to this audience?
Look, the message is the AI revolution is here. People can pretend it's not, it's coming. And so it's one of those things, the sooner that people can adapt, to your point, the sooner that people can partner with like minded individuals, that's a good thing. And so you find in some places of the world, not India, but in other places of the world where they're going to resist AI, where they're going to resist this revolution. It's here. It's here to stay. Every 100 years, every so often, we see in history something that changes the world, and you always have a sector that resists. When Ford had the first Model T come off the assembly line, the first people that protested were those in a horse and buggy. But today, nobody would want to go back to a horse and buggy and give up their cars. That revolution came, whether you like it or not. And the same thing is going to happen here over the next few years. And so, India and the United States being at the cutting edge of this new technology, embracing it, using it for good, and partnering with those who share our common values. We're the world's oldest democracy. This year we're celebrating 250 years. India is the world's largest democracy. This is a national partnership for both of our nations.
Thank you. Sanjay?
Micron's vision statement, defined several years ago now, is transforming how the world uses information to enrich life for all. And that vision is truly coming to life today. This AI summit, the message of Sarvjan Hitai and Sarvjan Sukhai, welfare for all, happiness for all, is very much aligned with Micron's vision. US vision for AI in terms of national and economic security, and of course the businesses and the global leaders around the globe working toward AGI, artificial general intelligence. All of this critically relies on memory and storage, and Micron is very proud to be at the center of it. More and more memory is needed. Micron is making the investments in order to increase the supply. But it's not about just the importance of memory and storage to advancement of AI. It's not uh, just about investments that Micron is making in the US to advance semiconductor supply chain, as well as in India and other locations. But it is also absolutely about initiatives like Pax Silica that really secure the future of supply chains and ensure that AI infrastructure and AI capabilities will be there ready to shape the world of the future. We are very proud to be part of this, very proud as an American company to be able to bring up advanced technology capability here in India, which will benefit our US operations as well. And very thankful to the partnership between US and India to jointly together define the future of AI and shape the future of the world.
Thank you so much. Dr. Thakur, any closing thoughts for the audience?
Well, thank you very much. As our Tata Sons chairman, Mr. Chandrasekharan, said yesterday, under the vision of our Prime Minister, India has treated AI as strategic national capability. So I see the declaration of Pax Silica as a response and an enabler, a codification of trust, and for us, the opportunity to work together. The expectation is laid out from the nations. It is now up to us to deliver on this promise as an industry. So Honorable Undersecretary Halberg, Ambassador Gore, I really want to thank you from bottom of my heart for Pax Silica. We'll make it work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give a warm hand to our incredible panel.
I thank all our distinguished guests and the panelists for such a thoughtful and engaging conversation. Thank you so much, Excellencies, for joining us for this panel discussion and giving us a highlight on the high points of the Pax Silica Declaration, which is going to be a new milestone so far as relationship and working together of India and the United States of America is concerned. I must say congratulations to India, congratulations to the United States for entering into this declaration, this agreement, which is an important milestone also for this AI Impact Summit 2026. This is the signing of Pax Silica Declaration. And then it was followed by this fireside chat. And this reflects not only the strength of US India partnership, but also the shared ambition to shape a future built on trusted technology, resilient supply chains, and responsible innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, moments like these remind us that strategic cooperation is not only about agreements, but about continued dialogue, collaboration, and shared purpose. On behalf of the India AI Impact Summit, I extend our sincere appreciation to our dignitaries, industry leaders, and all our guests for being part of this occasion. Thank you for joining us. And now we are moving on to the next very, very important session. And before I invite the panelists for this session, I would like to also invite our distinguished keynote speaker. Now, I would like to take this moment to invite Mr. Michael Kratsios. He is President Trump's National Science and Technology Advisor, and he is Director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Before I invite Mr. Kratsios on the stage, I would like to request all our dignitaries and our distinguished guests to kindly take your seats. May I please request our esteemed guests to kindly take your seats, kindly settle down. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Michael Kratsios. Wait for a few moments, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to take a break here after that fireside conversation. We will reassemble here again at 11:30, and that is the time when we are going to have not only we would love to hear the remarks of Mr. Kratsios, but also we will have a panel discussion by experts on AI from the United States of America. I'm sure you would look forward to that fireside conversation as well. So kindly join us again at 11:30. Thank you. important session because this was focusing on United States vision on artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, I am really excited to introduce the next panel. And this is the panel partnering on American AI Exports Program. First, I take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Michael Kratsios for the keynote remarks to kick off this session. Michael Kratsios is the head of delegation for the United States to the India AI Impact Summit, and also he is President Trump's National Science and Technology Advisor and the director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Michael Kratsios.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the distinguished heads of state, public servants, and business leaders participating in this year's India AI Impact Summit here in New Delhi. It truly is a great honor to speak with you as a head of delegation representing the United States. At this summit last year in Paris, Vice President J.D. Vance sought to refocus the AI conversation in his remarks from safety to opportunity. The future is something to be built, not awaited. And both the problems and solutions that AI presents are opportunities to make bold choices to better the lives of the people we represent. So today I want to call on each of you to join us as partners in an effort to build the AI future on behalf of your own nation and your own people. America is the birthplace of AI and the home of the frontier companies and hyperscalers that ushered in this critical moment. That is no accident. Within days of returning to the White House last year, President Trump recommitted America to AI leadership. He repealed the last administration's so-called diffusion framework, which prevented AI exports and placed partner countries like India in a supposed second tier. And last summer, the Trump administration released America's AI Action Plan, a strategy for winning the AI race based on 3 pillars: innovation, infrastructure, and international partnerships. Today, America's leading position is clearly visible in a booming US AI industry. Our biggest AI and chip companies have individual market caps that exceed that of the entire FTSE 100. Our 4 largest AI companies plan to spend nearly $700 billion on AI infrastructure this year. That is 3 times more than it costs to put American footsteps on the surface of the moon. And of the billions of people using America's leading AI platforms, more than 3/4 log in from your countries outside of the United States. Industry benchmarks show that American AI services are more capable and more cost-effective than competitors for nearly every application and offer greater robustness and security. American chips are many times more advanced and reliable than alternatives, sought by nations spanning the globe, both West and East. And when competitor nations claim to have made breakthroughs in frontier models, US companies recognize the telltale signs of American innovation. The gold standard in AI is made in America. International discussion of AI has evolved, as this summit itself attests. We have moved from gathering to talk about AI safety to calling for AI action, and now we are here to consider AI impact. I think this is clearly a positive development, but it is not clear to me that these forward-thinking changes in how we describe these gatherings are much more than cosmetic. Too many international forums, such as the UN's Global Dialogue on AI Governance, maintain a general atmosphere of fear. We must replace that fear with hope. We cannot allow AI to become, as nuclear power was for many decades, a foundation for a future of abundance, abandoned and left unrealized. Ideological, risk-focused obsessions, such as climate or equity, become excuses for bureaucratic management and centralization. In the name of safety, they increase the danger that these tools will be used for tyrannical control. I believe that if we embrace AI and exercise its power well, it will advance human flourishing and drive unprecedented prosperity. Focusing AI policy on speculative risks, however, rather than concentrated opportunities, inhibits a competitive ecosystem, entrenches incumbents, and isolates developing countries from full participation in the AI economy. Adoption remains the critical bottleneck in realizing AI's potential to transform industries and unleash new productivity. I will address international AI adoption trends shortly, but in American context, I see two main limiting factors. One is trust. Regulatory and non-regulatory policy frameworks that safeguard the public interest are necessary to earn the public's trust of AI. To give the American people confidence in these tools, the Trump administration seeks to support legislators as they construct a national policy framework that protects children, prevents censorship, respects intellectual property, and safeguards our workers, families, and communities. The other primary limiting factor to US adoption is regulatory certainty and clarity. It is our position that with smart updates to existing frameworks to reflect new technologies, realities, use case, and sector-specific regulation best allows adoption. This gives industry confidence that tomorrow's rules will be common sense developments of today's, allowing them to focus on creative development. AI governance must focus on the particular needs and interests of particular people, and so it must be local. As the Trump administration has said many times, we totally reject global governance of AI. We believe AI adoption cannot lead to a brighter future if it is subject to bureaucracies and centralized control. Prioritizing AI for your people does not mean joining international efforts that are either purely symbolic or a sacrifice of national self-determination. It does not mean constructing regulatory regimes that exchange your country's capacity to build and innovate for the self-satisfaction of technocrats. It does not mean isolating yourself, hoping to reconstruct the whole AI stack from scratch, even as you are left behind. Prioritizing AI for your people means pursuing a sovereign AI capability for your country now. This begins with rapid adoption of the best components of the technology stack available while your national champions work to develop their own. Real AI sovereignty means owning and using best-in-class technology for the benefits of your people and charting your destiny in the midst of global transformations. It does not mean waiting to participate in an AI-enabled global market until you have tried and failed to build self-sufficiency. Complete technological self-containment is unrealistic for any country because the AI stack is incredibly complex. But strategic autonomy alongside rapid AI adoption is achievable, and it is necessary for independent nations, and America wants to help. We believe that independent partners are critical to unlocking this prosperity. AI adoption is going to be open to all of us. That is why the president launched the American AI Export Program, and that is why I'm here with you today. The US setting the gold standard for AI means winning on the merits. We believe American companies and technology succeeds in open competition, and we want to lead an AI ecosystem that works with your local technologies, local data sets, local languages, rather than imposing global standards or pursuing vendor lock-in. America is the only AI superpower willing and able to truly empower partner nations in your pursuit of meaningful AI sovereignty. American companies can build large, independent AI infrastructure with secure and robust supply chains that minimize backdoor risk. They build it, it's yours. American AI companies and open source models can enable local training and fine-tuning with linguistic and cultural adaptation without embedded political orthodoxies. And cryptographically protected confidentiality and world-leading American security can help you keep your sensitive data within your borders and within your control. The Trump administration is passionate about sharing the benefits of American AI. And we have thought long and hard about how we can help make the AI future one of prosperous collaboration and peaceful competition together. The United States and the rest of the world can only fulfill and realize the amazing potential of this technology when we share an open, cooperative AI ecosystem built on top of localized, sovereign infrastructure. But as you know, while we use AI tools continue to grow worldwide, the pace of adoption and the sophistication of deployment continues to stratify. Developing countries are falling behind developed countries at a fundamental inflection point. Developed countries face adoption problems similar to America's and are primarily concerned with how their native technology companies will fit into the global AI ecosystem. But developing countries face two additional barriers to AI adoption. One is financing. The AI stack is expensive. Through the enormous energy and material demands of its infrastructure, it brings the digital transformation of our world back into a physical reality. Data centers, semiconductors, power production, all of these elements require physical labor and resources. The other barrier is a deficit in the technical sophistication needed to deploy AI tools as effectively as possible. To help facilitate worldwide adoption of trusted AI systems, the creation of a competitive, open, and interoperable AI ecosystem, and to further the efforts of the American AI Export Program in both developed and developing partner nations, today I am pleased to announce a U.S. government-wide suite of initiatives of support. To integrate partner nation companies with the American AI stack, ensuring that no country has to choose between completing the stack and developing a domestic AI, we have established a National Champions Initiative. We recognize that partners need a chance to build their native technology industries and believe facilitating this will be a critical part of the export program. To facilitate the development of industry-led, open, and secure AI standards, and to give the public confidence in this next generation of technology, we are creating an AI Agent Standards Initiative. To empower developing partner countries to overcome financing obstacles as they import the American AI stack, the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation and the Export-Import Bank of the United States, the U.S. Trade and Development Agency, the Millennium Challenge Corporation, and a new World Bank fund have initiated new AI-focused programs. And to further enable AI adoption in the developing world, the Trump administration is bringing America's historic Peace Corps into the 21st century with the launch of the U.S. Tech Corps. This initiative will embed volunteer technical talent with import partners to provide last mile support in deploying powerful AI applications for enhanced public services. In everything from energy and education to manufacturing and medicine to transportation and agriculture, I'm confident that the American AI stack can be key to unlocking new economic and social benefits for your people. The hope of the United States is that the pursuit of real AI sovereignty, the adoption and deployment of sovereign infrastructure, sovereign data, sovereign models, and sovereign policies within your borders under your control will become an occasion for bilateral diplomacy, international development, and global economic dynamism. The American AI Export Program exists to make that happen. The U.S. wants to share the American AI stack because this technology presents the opportunity to lead. As our nation's founders did 250 years ago, a revolution in human history to the benefit of all of mankind. These tools, used well, will unlock new knowledge for our growth and new sources of prosperity, and challenge us to grow the strength of our humanity to match our growing capabilities. American AI is settling a new frontier, but America does not seek to build this new future alone. So I ask you to join us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kratsios, for your ideas, your remarks, which are truly enlightening and illuminating as well. Ladies and gentlemen, next I would like to invite the speakers for a panel on partnering on AI exports. Interesting, isn't it? Well, the moderator is Mr. Sriram Krishnan, the Senior Advisor for Artificial Intelligence at the Office of Science and Technology Policy, and the panelists are Department of Commerce Undersecretary for International Trade, Mr. William Kimmett, and Department of Commerce Deputy Undersecretary for Policy at the International Trade Administration, Mr. Brendan Remington. Please welcome the panelists. Over to you, Mr. Krishnan.
Good morning. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? First off, before we get started, I just want to say what a privilege and honor it has been for us to be here the last couple of days I want to thank all of our hosts. I want to thank the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I want to thank the huge team which has made this possible. It has been an amazing privilege. And especially today, when I was roaming the halls and I was here, I was just struck by the optimism of so many of the delegates and attendees here. In particular, I was struck by the optimism of so many young people. So I'm curious, how many of you here are students? Okay, can all of you who are students just please stand up? Okay, can everyone else give them a round of applause? Because I was just so blown away by the enthusiasm they have for AI, and the hope and the potential. And thank you for coming here. And I think you need to get back to studying after this. But thank you for coming here. It really blew me away. And so I wanted to say that just because I think that hope and optimism is what we in the Trump administration have really embraced when it comes to AI. And I think that's going to be a core part of when we talk about AI exports. So first off, I want to kind of introduce my distinguished fellow panelists. We have Undersecretary William Kimmett from Department of Commerce. We have Deputy Undersecretary Remington. Um, uh, well, you've been, before we get on the serious stuff, you've been all over India for the last couple of days. No pressure, but what has been your favorite part? Everyone here is judging you.
My favorite part, I think, it's been fabulous. We actually did a stop in Bangalore before we came to Delhi, which was really fabulous and really just amazing. I want to echo what Sri Rama said about the excitement and the dynamism we're seeing in the ecosystem here, and it's just really remarkable, and particularly the young, talented students here in India. It's just really been remarkable to see, and I'd say riding in the streets of Bangalore, that was an experience, and seeing the traffic there. But what I noticed while we were driving throughout all the traffic around us was how digitalized the country is. And I see people on motorcycles, and they're on the back with their phones, and everybody's on their phone, and just how digital the country is, and it's really remarkable. So I'd say experiencing the streets of Bangalore on the riding side, but also seeing how integrated tech is in everybody's everyday life here has been really remarkable to see.
Amazing. Anybody from Bangalore or Karnataka here? Okay, a couple of folks. Okay, you need to help show him around next time he's there. There you go. And Deputy Undersecretary, what about you?
I'd say the energy and the pace. I mean, it's just unreal. I'll stick with the driving theme. I think you can see it. It's both precise and it's decisive. Doesn't wait for you.
Mhm.
It's representative of a lot of things, and Indians keep pace. I love the energy.
That's true. I think the energy has been amazing. And so we're going to talk about exports, but all of this comes from what President Trump set into motion in his very first week in office, where he did two things. First, he rescinded the Biden diffusion rule, which, as Dr. Kratio said, made it near impossible for countries like India to access advanced semiconductor chips. Second, he tasked all of us with coming up with an action plan to deliver on what the country's, America's priorities should be when it comes to AI. And we did that in July, and we've come up with three priorities. First is to build infrastructure. AI needs energy, AI needs data centers, and we've been focused on building those in a way that works for America and works for our citizens. Second, we're focusing on innovation. How do we make sure that we have our entrepreneurs and we have our companies building the technologies that are necessary? But third, I think, is a spirit of partnership. How do we share these technologies that are built in Silicon Valley, in America, with our allies and with the rest of the world? And that's what we've been really focused on. And on that end, and Will, I would love to start with you. Could you talk a little bit about the AI export program that Dr. Kratsios talked about, what it means and why it is important?
Absolutely. So certainly President Trump has made AI a national priority. And so, what does that mean? And when you think of the United States and our great tech companies, obviously we're doing what we can to support them. And of course, we're doing that for our national security, our economic security, and the success of our great companies. But how do we use that to share that with the rest of the world? And so, specifically on this AI exports program, the president issued an executive order last July that tasked the Department of Commerce with standing up the AI exports program. And what that is it's going to call for industry-led proposals of consortia that will offer full stack offerings to the world, and how we can promote the exports of those full stack consortia. So it's sort of a question of, what does that mean? What does full stack mean? And so we wanted to make sure we were as thoughtful as possible in this process. And so we issued a request for information, asking companies to give us information, tell us what might be helpful, tell us maybe what wouldn't be helpful. And we got a tremendous response from the industry. We got hundreds of submissions, and we have spent the last several weeks digesting those and understanding the dynamics that maybe we weren't aware of, and things we should think about as we craft this program. And we are putting the finishing touches on it. And the next step is going to be a public call for proposals from the industry to submit these consortia, and how we're going to shape that program to do full stack offerings and maybe other offerings as well.
That's awesome. And Deputy Undersecretary, if I may come to you, maybe if you can just get into the details. We have guests from multiple countries over here. We have companies from all over the world here. Could you maybe break down the next level of granularity? How do these consortia work? If I'm a country, attending this event, or if I'm a company, what should I be doing?
Sure. I'll start by saying you'll hear more on how it actually works, but I'll describe what we've heard so far and what people have asked of us.
Mhm.
We've heard really two motions. One is, how can we go outbound to the world? How do we help companies find buyers? And then on the other side, for foreign buyers, how do we make it easier for you? And so as we've looked at that, we've decided, and as we've approached it, we've looked at a couple different kinds of consortia. On the one hand, you would think, and what we've heard is, make it easy, make it simple, like T-shirt sizes, small, medium, large. I don't need 100 permutations. I just need to know what's available. But there are others who do want that special, very, very unique niche kind of thing, and to accommodate both of those. And we'll say in each of these, we're looking for simplicity. We're looking for elegant solutions. Our goal here is to make this easy for both sides, for both buyers, whether they are governments, whether they are state-owned enterprises or any sort, and then also for the real companies that we talk to, both the large ones, but also the small startups who are thinking, what should I do next? I'm in my Series A, I'm in my Series B. Should I sell abroad? Is this possible to make that feasible for them?
And so if I'm a founder, should I come find you?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Wow, I like putting him on the spot over there. So find him.
Through the website, not me personally.
He's the man. I think for the last couple of days, one of the remarkable announcements was the launch of Sarvam's new model, which I was really blown away by. And if you folks haven't checked it out, you should check out some of the technical details. It is really, really impressive. And I think that is a good segue to the theme of sovereign AI. We have countries all over the world who want to have a sovereign AI capability. What does it mean when working with some of the programs that we are talking about today, with if you're a national champion or if you're a country which wants to have sovereign capabilities?
Sure. So I think the program is going to, of course, be built on the American AI tech stack. But then, like I said, what does that mean exactly? And so what it really means is, we want to set the foundation for possibilities as we're exporting to other countries. And so, in the context of a national champion, if there's a great company that wants to use American tech, we provide that foundation and then allow that national champion to build on that foundation of American tech. And so it's really providing a level of the tech stack to countries so that they can build on that with their great local domestic champions.
I totally agree. I think one thing that when it comes to the stack is there are multiple parts of it. There are the chips, the GPUs, the TPUs, whether using NVIDIA or AMD or Google. For example, Sarvam has done great work working with NVIDIA on training their model. Then there is the model layer, there are agents or applications on top. So when we talk about the program and the stack, it is really you can pick as a company or as a country what part of the stack you want to build on, and there's a whole range of possibilities.
If I could add one thing, we're trying to facilitate choice. We hear about AI sovereignty a lot, and there are many different versions of this, right? We hear about does every village need their own data center, right? Or does everyone need an LLM for like their specific context? Some of them just say, I want control over my data. I want to know where it goes. I want transparency. Because there's so many permutations, we want to offer these many choices and allow each country and each buyer to make those choices.
And that is true. And I think I want to go back to what Dr. Kratcho said, and I said about the first week of President Trump being in office. He wanted to make it easy for other countries to get access to our technology, and that set this in motion last January. Next up, I want to move to use cases. A lot of countries all over the world that Dr. Kratch is talking about, and who are trying to figure out how to adopt AI, how to provide their citizens a better quality of life, better services. What are use cases that are interesting to you that you think we're going to see a lot of great progress and work on in the next year or two?
Yeah. So I think the ones that are interesting to me certainly are in emerging markets are both in the health space and the education space, and what we can do to bring AI solutions in those crucial sectors in various countries. And so working with like the Ministry of Health in an emerging market and coming up with a solution that would revolutionize their health industry to the benefit of their citizens, that's the part of the program that really excites me.
Mm-hmm. Ben?
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, this it's so sweeping, but others that we've also heard have been agriculture, manufacturing, I mean, maritime, you name it. There are a lot of verticals that have so many new use cases and so many new applications coming out all the time. I think back to the simplicity point, organizing around verticals of one-stop shop. If you come here, this is where you can find offerings, has been something we've heard would be very useful.
I think so. For me, there's obviously many, but I think education uh, is something which has just blown me away. Even this morning, talking to a student, I met somebody from my alma mater and from second year of undergrad who's just doing amazing things with AI at an age when I was not doing anything at all. And that just fills me with hope and inspiration. Imagine every student, whether you could be 5 years old or maybe you're 50 years old, and having access to a teacher, a lecturer, a professor who never gets tired, who knows how to speak to you in a local language, can answer any single question. I think that is going to change so many people's lives. Okay, one last note. We're all working on AI. Just on a broad theme, what is something about AI, whether it's in the US government, whether it is how you're approaching your work, that fills you with optimism?
I'd say for me, speaking, working for the government, we're talking about helping export US AI tech stack to the world. We actually, in the US government, need to do a good job also bringing it into government in a lot of the work we do. I run the International Trade Administration. As part of that, we do a lot of analysis of supply chains and looking at things, and there are certainly better ways we can do that. So that's one area where I think as we're bringing tech to the world, we also need to do a good job of bringing it into the US government and helping us become more efficient as well.
I love that. I absolutely love that. The US government, I mean, we've done a lot of work. If you look at the action plan, a lot of work on making things more efficient. And you?
I'd say two things. The first, it's so sweeping. There are very few technologies that change like your personal life and your work life, and they're both going very quickly. The second is the hunger for this is so high. It's not hard. We don't have to sell AI in the sense of, do you want this? People want this. It's really, how should we best provide it to them? How do we help both sides of this? How do we help the companies and how do we help the buyers? And being in the middle of that and enabling that is very exciting.
I agree. I think it's maybe a great note to end on. And I think I just want to close out by reemphasizing something that the Ambassador Gore spoke about earlier, which is, these are two great nations, the world's oldest democracy and the world's largest democracy. Both countries I obviously have very, deep ties to. And a lot of this has been made possible by the special relationship between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi. And I think today, what you saw with the Pax Silica signing with Undersecretary Helberg and Dr. Kratsios, what you saw with Dr. Kratsios's announcement is such a remarkable moment. But for me, it is just the beginning of what is going to be an amazing, enduring technology partnership. But thank you so much. And thank you for being an amazing audience. And thank you.
Hello, everyone. We will have a 10-minute buffer wherein people are feel free to recharge yourselves, stretch your legs, and we will start the programming back again at 12:22. 12:22 is when we are going to start again. So please, everyone, be back and be seated by 12:22. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again. I'm sure you're all refreshed after this break. And now we're going to start with the next session and have some wonderful keynote speakers once again with us today, and a great lineup, as I said in the morning as well. So now I'm going to invite our keynote speaker. He is Mr. Jeetu Patel, President and Chief Product Officer, Cisco. Well, Mr. Patel sits at the intersection of AI and enterprise infrastructure. It's kind of the plumbing that makes it work. At Cisco, he's leading the company's transformation into an AI native networking and security powerhouse. In a world obsessed with models and algorithms, his reminder that none of it works without resilient, secure infrastructure is both timely and essential. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. G.